The boys basketball postseason underway on Zimbrick Honda's presentation of PrepMania on 100.5 ESPN and our video stream on Wisconsin On Demand. Good evening, everybody, from Stoughton High School. The Division II boys basketball regional semifinals. About 20 minutes from the opening tip. For the number 2 seed, Stoughton Vikings, hosting the 7 seed Deforest Norskies. My name's Jesse Nelson, joined by the Dean of Area High School Sports, Dennis Semrau. For nearly 50 years, Zimbrick Honda's provided the Madison area with quality Honda vehicles, and the trusted staff of Zimbrick Honda's used car dealership will save you time and reduce your car buying stress by finding the vehicle that matches your style. If you're looking for a newer used Honda, visit Zimbrick Honda in Madison today or head to ZimbrickHonda.com to search vehicle inventory. Dennis, a fun matchup in store for us here to kick off our boys basketball postseason coverage on ESPN Madison and Wisconsin On Demand. The 7 seed Norskies, the 2 seed Vikings, but this particular regional semifinal feels like it's going to be a lot closer than those seeds may indicate.
Yeah, seeds sometimes. People complain about, when the coach is seated, now there's electronic seeding and who's fair and what. Just frickin' play the game. This time of year, it's one and done. For the seniors, it's their last time. And if you're a senior playing in this gym like Stoughton does, your last home game, you want it to be a winner, And I, looking at these two teams, it was funny. Before we got set up, coaches come in and one goes to the other. Think, Deforest Stoughton. Who'd have thought, right? Yeah, we're playing each other. Duh. One difference this year, though, Stoughton wrestling normally is a team state or individual. The individual was last week. Team state was not. They did not make it this year for the first time.
Wow.
Reedsburg knocked them off. First time Reedsburg's been there. So they split their fan base. So I'm expecting a lot of Viking fans here tonight to really give their boys a push. They were out of school today.
I think that's going to be a factor, Dennis, and we'll talk more about that in a few minutes. But I think the fact that Stoughton did not have school today and Deforest did could play a factor in this game. Maybe that'll be part of my Canopy Wealth Management Keys to Victory coming up. But first, I do want to talk about these two teams in particular. Similar trajectories in a certain sense for both of these teams this season. The Deforest Norskies with an overall record of 13-11, 8-6 in Badger East Conference play, where they finished tied for third in the conference. Milton tied with them. Norskies technically fourth because of the tiebreaker. And meanwhile, the Stoughton Vikings 17-7 with a 7-3 record in conference play. That was good enough for second behind undefeated Wanakee. Deforest started hot, 8-0. They were a ranked team in the AP poll. Didn't lose for the first month of the season. First loss came on January 5th. But they enter tonight having lost 9 of their last 12 games. And that includes a win in the regional quarterfinal on Tuesday night over Fort Atkinson. So to close out the regular season, Deforest lost 9 of its final 11 games. About as clear as a stumble to the finish line as you'll get for a team that you still think can come away with an upset on the road here in the playoffs. Meanwhile, Stoughton started 4-0. They were 8-2 up until January 5th, and then they started to hit a little bit of a skid, finishing 3-3 down the stretch. Of course, 2 of those losses, though, coming to the Wanakee Warriors, so take that for what it's worth. They haven't won a bunch of games in a row this year, Stoughton. Longest winning streak on 2 different occasions, 4 games. So Dennis Semrau, as we watch both of these two teams in action here tonight at Stoughton High School, I'll be fascinated to see which team can flip the switch for the postseason. Deforest losing 9 of its final 11 regular season games, or Stoughton finishing 500, 3-3 down the stretch. Meanwhile, as we get into the matchup tonight, let's get to some of the Canopy Wealth Management keys to victory. Canopy Wealth Management believes community is everything, and they're constantly working towards the betterment of our community. That's why they've partnered with Gilda's Club, the Madison Capitals, Kids from Wisconsin, and JDRF. At Canopy, their clients' financial goals are something they're constantly striving to help reach maximum potential, which is why they work solely in your best interest. You define your goals, and they work towards making them happen with their comprehensive financial planning. Go to canopy-wealth.com to get started with Canopy Wealth Management today. Dennis, let's start with the Norskies on the road. What will it take for Deforest to come away with the upset as the 7 seed in this regional semifinal?
Well, number one is control the outside shooting for Stoughton. They love to shoot the 3, and in particular Ty Fernholz, the third of the Fernholz brothers, and he's the combination of his 2 older brothers. Very physical player, but loves the 3. He's made 7 in the game. And Sawyer Shipper, of course, Shipper's older brother, playing for the Wisconsin Badger football team. So we got to keep an eye on those 2. Own the rebounding battle and take care of the ball and stick to our principles on offense. So it means no turnovers. You don't want to give Stoughton a chance to get a break and pull up for those 3s. They can get a nice run going.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting to see how Deforest will try to follow those Canopy Wealth Management keys to victory tonight. How about the Stoughton Vikings on the home floor? What's their keys?
Well, they want to make Deforest work on defense. A lot of screening, ball reversals. Just keep moving to get the open looks. Handle the defensive pressure. Stoughton, both teams like to run the ball a little bit, and then win the rebounding battle. You can't get the break if you can't, hold the other team to one and dones.
Those are your Canopy Wealth Management keys to victory as we get set for Deforest and Stoughton here on Zimbrick Honda's presentation of PrepMania. PrepMania also brought to you in part by UW Credit Union. Their online and mobile banking goes above and beyond with top-rated service and security that exceeds industry standards. Explore innovative and intuitive ways to manage your money anytime, anywhere. UW Credit Union's in-house team of engineers and developers create digital banking solutions designed just for you. Learn more at uwcu.org. Dennis, as we count down to the opening tip, about 8 minutes and 40 seconds right now on the clock as we count down to the national anthem and then the introduction of the starting lineups tonight. Let's take a look at some of the other games going on around the Madison area as the boys' playoffs get underway in full swing. A few teams were in action on Tuesday night, like Deforest against Fort Atkinson in the regional quarterfinals, but tonight is when it really ramps up and feels like it's the true opening night of the boys' basketball postseason. In Division 2, this bracket loaded with Madison area teams. We talked about the 2-7 matchup we have tonight, Stoughton and Deforest. The winner of this game gets the winner of Mount Horeb and Milton tomorrow night in the 3-6 matchup. You will be able to see that game tomorrow night right here on Wisconsin On Demand. Dennis, Mount Horeb and Milton, another fascinating potential upset brewing on the west side of Madison tonight.
Yeah, you have to you look at Milton, not as good a team as last year because Jack Campion graduated. Fortunately, his dad passed away this winter. Jack's been back about a dozen times to watch games and practices, and he's really invested in this team. So that Milton team is playing with a lot of emotion. And then on the other side, you look at Mount Horeb, who their leading scorer, freshman, has not started a game all year long. And that's a team that has played a very tough schedule. So when you look at Mount Horeb, you look at the losses, you got to take it kind of with a grain of salt. I mean, this could be a Deforest Milton, or it could be a Stoughton. It could be any combination tomorrow night because all these teams are legitimate shots. But Mount Horeb, they've had a very good season. They did get a bye, and so Milton had to play and beat Baraboo the other night. They won by 14. But yeah, this is a tough bracket up here on the top. And then a game I really would like to see too tonight, Monona Grove and Sauk Prairie.
Yeah, so that's in that same Division 2 sectional number 3, the 4-5 matchup.
Same regional.
Exactly,
so.
yeah.
And then McFarland, you had the girls last night, the boys.
Number 1 seed.
Well, we could see this coming last year because a year ago both the boys and girls teams each only had 2 seniors, and they were not players that were mainstays. So they basically, both those teams returned their starting lineups back intact. Mm-hmm. And McFarland boys got that number 1 seed, and I think it's well-deserved.
McFarland taking on Monroe in the 1-8 matchup tonight. All kinds of Madison area teams that we'll be keeping tabs on throughout the course of the evening. Let's go to Division 1 in sectional number 3. Sectional 3 tends to be where the Madison area teams land. And this one is a little more convoluted, and it seems like the Madison area teams got a bit of a raw deal by the computer bracket, if you ask me. So the number 1 seed in this sectional is Arrowhead. Arrowhead, the number 1 seed, taking on the 16 seed Sun Prairie East. Sorry,
the Madison area Big 8 teams.
Yeah, well.
The Badger did okay.
We'll talk about that in a minute. So Arrowhead and Sun Prairie East tonight. East won the other night. Sun Prairie West, the 9 seed, at the 8 seed La Follette. The 8 seed La Follette. La Follette was ranked in the AP top 10 down the stretch of the season. Dennis, what the heck happened that La Follette got an 8 seed?
We have no idea because they're not transparent with what is, it's like Madison Memorial getting a 10. They play 3 teams from outside the state, but the WIA considers anything outside of Wisconsin a team with a 500 record. So I have no idea what any of this means other than some years the Badger in the Big 8 says, hey, we're a bigger conference, we're better. The Badger doesn't get it. And this year, what did the Badger get? Wanakee got a 3 seed. Oregon got a 4 seed.
Yeah.
Who'd have thought?
So the rest of that bracket as it plays out.
Wanakee is a good team.
And remember, La Follette beat Middleton to give them their
only
first loss and the only loss of this season. Middleton's the 2 seed in this sectional. They're playing the 15 seed Madison East tonight. Let's go through the rest of these games. So 12 seed Verona on the road at 5 seed Sussex Hamilton. Then you got the 4 seed Oregon, aforementioned Dennis Semrau. Oregon hosting Brookfield East tonight. Meanwhile, on the other end, Middleton, the 2 seed against 15 seed Madison East. 10 seed Madison Memorial at Brookfield Central. Tough draw for the Madison Memorial Spartans.
Yeah, I'm not happy about that at all.
It's the 3rd team in the Big 8 conference, Madison Memorial, ending up with a 10 seed. Meanwhile, 11 seed West Allis Hale and 6 seed Milwaukee Hamilton. Why do we mention that? Because the winner of that will likely face Wanakee, who is in a 3-14 matchup tonight. The 3 seed Wanakee Warriors taking on 14 seed Oconomowoc. So those are games we'll keep tabs on all throughout the course of the night. In Division 3, we got Edgewood and Lodi, New Glarus and Dodgeville, Platteville and Evansville, Columbus and Lomira, Lakeside Lutheran Mayville, Lake Mills Berlin. There's all kinds of games going on around the area tonight, so we'll keep you updated as best we can throughout our broadcast.
And keep an eye on Middleton and Madison Memorial win. They play tomorrow night for the 3rd time this year. And both those first couple of games were tough ones for the Cardinals. It'd be tough to have a one-loss season in conference and then to lose to a conference team in the playoffs. Could happen. They got to win tonight, though.
Zimbrick Honda's presentation of PrepMania on Wisconsin On Demand, brought to you in part by Nations Lending. The team at Nations Lending Monona finds home financing solutions that are as unique as you are. Whether you're buying your first home, your next home, or refinancing, they've got your back. They'll act as your personal advocates to inspire the true sense of home ownership. From drinks on the patio to blanket forts in the living room to the smell of backyard barbecues, because that's how they help you home. Go to nationsmadison.com to get started today. Nations Lending. Home loans made human. Dennis Semrau, I share with you the magic number for tonight's game.
Bring it on.
98% of the time, the team that scores the magic number goes on to win the game based on a formula that Bradley Braves play-by-play announcer Dave Snell once taught me. It's a secret. I'm not supposed to tell anybody else what it is. But speaking of my Bradley Braves, Dennis, big win today over Northern Iowa onto the Missouri Valley semifinals tomorrow. Chance to go to the big dance next week. Anyway, the magic number for tonight's regional semifinal between Deforest and Stoughton, 62. 62.
That was my guess.
98% of the time, the team that scores 62 first will go on to win the game. Deforest averaging 64 points a game, as is Stoughton. Defensively could be the key. Deforest averages allowing 61 points a game. Stoughton 4 points fewer at 57.
We've been doing games long enough. You got to share that with me. We'll do a blood oath. I can't tell anybody on the or I die kind of a thing. But
I don't know if I'm willing to commit to that type of thing. I made a lot of commitments this week that I've been on the wrong end of this week, Dennis Semrau. I don't think. Maybe a blood oath next week. I lost a bowling matchup against Ben Brust.
What was that all about? What was the match?
Well, bowling head-to-head.
Yes.
I spotted him 22 pins. He beat me by 27, straight up. It was a 49-point pin swing. It was unbelievable. I would rather call this basketball game than relive that bowling match once again.
Geez,
so
I'm
let's
sorry.
go ahead and do that. The team's retreating.
Ben needed anything else.
Exactly. Teams retreating to their respective benches will step aside for the national anthem, get you the starting lineups and the opening tip of this boys regional semifinal coming up. DeForest and Stoughton in the regional semifinal, Division II boys basketball on Zimbrick Honda's presentation of PrepMania on ESPN Madison and Wisconsin On Demand.
Hey, it's Eric from Canopy Wealth Management. At Canopy, care, competence, and clarity aren't just a tagline to us. It's our promise to you. We're a fiduciary, meaning that we operate solely in our clients' best interest. And because we're fee-based, those interests are aligned with our clients. Using our comprehensive approach, we help you achieve your goals when it comes to your wealth management. Go to canopy-wealth.com to get started with us today. That's canopy-wealth.com.
The local team at Nations Lending believes that everyone has a right to home ownership, especially our educators and school staff. Jesse Nelson here. Another reason I'm proud to have worked with Nations Lending for my home loan is that they're now offering a $500 appraisal credit to any school district employee in Wisconsin. $500 toward an appraisal for any school district employee in the state. Go to nationslendingmadison.com to get started today. Nations Lending, home loans made human. Corporate NMLS unique identifier 32416 to verify mortgage company or individual license. Visit NMLSconsumeraccess.org. Nations Lending is an equal housing lender.
Stoughton Health provides comprehensive and compassionate care to Stoughton community and the entire Madison area. From our sports rehab facilities in Oregon and Stoughton to our renowned ortho team with Dr. Ravel, Stoughton Health can help. Learn more at stoughtonhealth.com.
We're going to walk out of this stadium tonight with our heads held high.
That is amazing. Wow, what a game. Oh, my.
Unbelievable!
One more for the record books.
Nothing's gonna stop us.
At the buzzer, knocks it down.
Pick is up.
Yes, he made it. Yes.
Reverse layup is good with 5 seconds left.
Put 6 on my stat. First title in program history.
Don't call it a comeback.
Being an in-state kid, everything that I wanted in school was right at home.
Every coach has a toolbox, and every tool is from another coach.
Camaraderie, be able to hang out with each other and be together.
Takes it all the way for the touchdown.
Led by a future Badger.
I'm very excited for this kid because he is brilliant.
What an absolute javelin toss.
He's going to throw a jump pass and complete it for the 2-point conversion to Hawk.
I mean, we can see a lot of offense.
Put the exclamation point on it.
At the buzzer.
Wow.
It's good.
Oh, my goodness.
Do your best.
Thank you so much for all you guys do for high school sports.
Guys, I got goosebumps.
That's all anybody can ask for.
The biggest games, the most compelling stories, the area's best high school sports coverage. This is Zimbrick Honda's presentation of PrepMania on 100.5 ESPN, the ESPN app, and Wisconsin On Demand.
Zimbrick Honda's presentation of PrepMania on Wisconsin On Demand. We welcome those of you joining us tonight for the boys basketball regional semifinal between the 7th seed DeForest Norskies and the 2 seed Stoughton Vikings. What better than Pitbull and the Zach Brown Band to get us started on Zimbrick Honda's PrepMania in our first boys basketball postseason broadcast. Jesse Nelson along with the Dean, Dennis Semrau. Let's get a check of our starting lineups as they're being introduced right now here at Stoughton High School for the DeForest Norskies in their road black uniforms tonight. Starting at guard number 2, Mason Keys. At forward number 3, Jackson Accardi. At forward number 15, James Hodge. At guard number 21, Alex Van Oyen. And at guard number 24, Brody Hartig. The Norskies are coached in his first season by Eric Stewart. Meanwhile, for the Stoughton Vikings, being introduced right now in their home white uniforms. Starting at guard number 0, Sawyer Shipper. Number 1, Jay Johnson. Number 3, Ty Fernholtz. Number 4, Mason Margie. And number 11, Braylon Kane. The Stoughton Vikings are coached in his 7th season with the Vikings, Nolan Weber. Both of these teams started the season hot. DeForest was 8-0, didn't lose for the first month of play, but ended losing 9 of 11 regular season games. The Stoughton Vikings started 4-0. They were 8-2 up until January 5th, ultimately go 3-3 down the stretch of the regular season, finishing with an overall record of 17-7. Still good enough to earn them the 2 seed in this sectional. DeForest, the 7 seed. The winner tonight gets the winner of Mount Horeb and Milton tomorrow night. If Stoughton wins, it's right here at Stoughton High School. If Mount Horeb or Milton wins and DeForest wins tonight, then Mount Horeb or Milton will host their game tomorrow. Just about set for the opening tip of this boys regional semifinal. Norskies and Vikings underway. Tip comes right toward the Stoughton student section, which is directly in front of us as you watch on Wisconsin On Demand, and the Vikings control it. Across midcourt is number 0, Sawyer Shipper. And the Vikings with the first offensive set of the evening. How about a pull-up 3 from the top of the key, Ty Fernholtz. He's the leading scorer for Stoughton on the year, averaging 20 points a game, and Fernholtz hammers home a 3 to get things started tonight.
Can we call that a heave, desperation shot, whatever?
It can't be desperation 30 seconds in, Dennis, I wouldn't say.
That's what it looked like. Oh.
It was a great shot because it went down. Meanwhile, DeForest on the retaliation. Yes, that's Brody Hardig, the senior, driving right baseline and able to put it in. Each team with a made bucket on its first offensive possession. 50 seconds in, 3-2, Stoughton on top.
Yeah, both teams shooting 100%. Wow.
How long can they keep that up? Sawyer Shipper for 3. Well, still shooting 100%.
Anything you can do, I can do better.
Back-to-back threes for the Viking offense makes it 6-2. They've come out on fire. Norskies down 4. Driving inside, Alex Van Ooyen had it stripped away. Coming the other direction, Fernholtz with the left hand on the run, no good. And now the Norskies push. Pull up 3 deflected from behind by Fernholtz. No, they're going to call a foul, and that means 3 free throws on the way for DeForest. Jackson Accardi, the sensational sophomore, will get 3 chances to try and cut Stoughton's lead down to 1 if he can connect on all of them. What'd you think of the call, Dennis?
Oh, that's a tough one to make this early in the game, but he saw something out there. Got to call it.
Fernholtz picks up his first foul. Both of the star players, you can make the argument tonight for each team wearing the number 3. Tyne Fernholtz, the leading scorer for the Vikings with 20 points a game. And then you have Jackson Accardi, the sophomore, at the line right now for the Norskies, the second leading scorer on the year, averaging 14 a game. Only Brody Hardig averages more at 16 in each contest for the 7-seed Norskies. Accardi 2 of 2 at the line. 69% free throw shooter on the year, and that's about right. He goes 2 of 3. 6-4, Stoughton on top by a bucket. Just over 90 seconds into this regional semifinal. Winner gets Mount Horeb or Milton tomorrow night. Fernholtz off the screen, tried to throw it inside, and it went off the knee.
And we get our first kick of the game.
Dennis, when we saw DeForest earlier this year against the Monroe Cheesemakers, we called them the North Threes because of how well they were shooting the threes. And by we, I mean me, because you kind of laughed at me for saying it. But do you think the three-point shooting tonight will be significant, whether this goes the way of Stoughton or DeForest?
I think it will be. But both teams right now trying to attack the rim a little bit too.
Driving inside, and a foul goes against DeForest. They'll say it was not in the act of shooting on Alex Van Ooyen, the senior guard. So Stoughton maintains possession, and the inbound comes in cleanly. Now deflected near the top of the key, but the Vikings hold on to it. Fernholtz using the screen, kick it back, wide open 3, Johnson off the mark. Baseball pass, intercepted. Margie got in the way like a defensive back, and then the 3 is airballed by Shipper. Great defensive play. That was a little out of control for the Norskies. Yeah. They get away with it, though, and now they have a chance to tie or take the lead. 15:30 to go in the first half. Into the paint. Tie game. Brody Hardig, 4 of the 6 for the Norskies, and both of the made field goals so far for DeForest.
Pull-up jumper in the lane. He's more of an outside shooter, three-point shooter a year ago. Now his game has expanded a little bit. He is not afraid to take it inside.
Here's Fernholtz backing down. Nice feed, but it was short. Margie couldn't finish. And then the Norskies got in the way of a second opportunity. Hardig wanted to pull up from the top of the key. I think he made a good choice putting it back on the floor. Now he feeds it for Accardi, working into the paint. Accardi, he got the positioning, but he forced it, got his own rebound, and the putback is good for the first lead of the game for the Deforest Norskies. Accardi with 4, Hardig with 4, Norskies up 8-6.
There you go, offensive rebound on both ends. Stoughton not able to convert. DeForest able to convert.
Carter Sullivan, number 12, in on the action here. Now it's Fernholz, step back, tie game. Dennis, this is my first chance to see Ty Fernholz in action this year. We saw him once last year against Milton, and as a sophomore now elevating his game in his junior year as the leading scorer of the Vikings. He's definitely a great player, and he'll be one to watch, and I would say contention for Mr. Basketball next season.
Yeah, one of the last of the Fernholz brothers, Max and Luke, the older ones. Coach said he's kind of a combination of two, and as they say, the last one's usually the best, right? Big brothers get to beat up on you a little bit.
Bank open on this Friday evening for Sawyer Shipper. Speaking of names in Stoughton that we've called over the years. You got a Hibner, a Fernholz, and that was Sawyer Shipper giving the Vikings a 10-8 lead. 13:30 to play in the first half. Right side intercepted. Margie all alone in the front court. Oh, he was deflected by Accardi, and now a second miss. And DeForest comes away with it. Wow. Norskies, 3-ball, no good. Johnson soars for the rebound. 13 minutes to play first half. Floater, no. Putback, Sullivan, no. Second chance opportunities have been abound for Stoughton, but they haven't converted on any.
5 offensive rebounds and 3 trips down, and they got the zip to show for it.
Hardig thought about pulling up for 3. Shipper defending him tightly. So now instead they feed it inside.
James Hodge.
And Hodge gets his first points of the night, the senior forward, and our first timeout called by the Stoughton Vikings. 10-10 with 12:34 to play in the first half. Regional semifinal, Zimbrick Honda's presentation of PrepMania. For nearly 50 years, Zimbrick Honda's provided the Madison area with quality Honda vehicles, and the trusted staff of Zimbrick Honda's used car dealership will save you time and reduce your car buying stress by finding the vehicle that matches your style. If you're looking for a new or used Honda, visit Zimbrick Honda today or head to ZimbrickHonda.com to search vehicle inventory. At our first stoppage, Dennis Semrau, what's the message from Coach Nolan Weber to his Vikings?
Just be patient. They're getting the ball inside. They are getting the offensive rebounds. But right now the adrenaline rush, I think, of it's a tournament game and they really want to score. They're kind of overshooting the basket a little bit there. Just you get it, use the glass, come up and finish your shots. Because right now they could be up by 6 if they would have made those putbacks.
Game tied at 10. Out of the timeout, Stoughton basketball. Let's see what Coach Weber drew up for his offense.
Their motion team. They're going to try to get the ball to one of their three-point shooters on the wing.
And now a loose ball, scrum at midcourt, rolling all around in the backcourt, and I think that should be a travel against the Norskies. No, they're going to say that Stoughton landed out of bounds. They're not going to call it a travel, and it's DeForest basketball.
Of course, the one thing we didn't talk about in the pregame, these are two teams loaded with football players. You saw it right there. Not afraid to go down on the floor. And for Fernholz, almost came up with it.
So DeForest a chance to go back on top as we're under 12 minutes to play in the first half.
Fernholz, a quarterback, used to recovering his own fumbles.
Hardig for 3, short, punched back into the hands of Carter Morrison for the Norskies. Morrison step back at the free throw line is good. Norskies up 12-10 on the road with 11:30 to go in the first half. We had a feeling this game could be pretty close tonight, and so far it has been just that.
And Morrison, a big pull-up jumper there. Floater in the lane for his only points in a triple overtime win at Sauk.
Now more bodies on the floor as Fernholz had it poked away. And this ends up in the hands of the Norskies and a timeout. They're ecstatic about that. 11-12 to play in the first half, Dennis.
Hate to use those timeouts that early, but that's a possession. You don't want to give up a possession.
PrepMania brought to you in part by Ridgetop Exteriors. Ridgetop Exteriors provides the best quality roof, siding, windows, and doors expertly installed and at an affordable price. I can speak to that, Dennis Semrau. 1 week ago, it was a Friday afternoon, and the team at Ridgetop Exteriors was over installing a brand new patio door for our back door and then a brand new entry door right on the front of our home that we moved into last year. They're the trusted, recommended experts in the Madison area, and they consider customer service their #1 goal and strive to exceed expectations of homeowners they serve, just like me. Get a free estimate for your next project by logging on to ridgetopexteriors.com. Out of the timeout, Norskies have it with a 2-point advantage.
See Ben Harmon, 14's in the lineup for Stoughton. A little physicality. He'll be trying to keep Carty out of the lane.
And as you watch along with us on Wisconsin On Demand, you see the student section right in front of us obstructing a bit of our view of the sideline. Not sure if that pass landed out of bounds or if the player who received the pass was standing out of bounds, but regardless, Deforest just turned it over. Fernholz pull-up three, no good. Little contact, but he was not called. And the Norskies have it. 10:45 to go in the half. 12-10. These two teams met on January 31st, just a little bit over a month ago. Stoughton emerged victorious right here on their home floor by 12, 68-56. Accardi trying to turn the tide on that result as he knocks another 2-point bucket home to give Deforest its largest lead of the night.
In that game, 2 starters were out for Deforest. Both Hodge and Keys were out. Might have made a difference. We'll see.
Another shot from less than 2 feet away that doesn't go for Stoughton. That was Ben Harmon, the junior, driving on the left baseline. Couldn't finish it.
And a tip-in. That's 6 offensive boards. No points off of.
Pesky defense here for Stoughton. And they force the turnover. Harmon comes up with it, and then a foul is assessed to the Norskies. 9:49 to go in the first half. And Dennis, I mentioned in the pregame, I thought this would be a factor today. Stoughton did not have school. They were closed for, I think it was an in-service day, so no students in the school today. Deforest did have school today. And I think there's something to be said about the rhythm of your day when you know you have this game looming and just the natural progression of how you go to class and then you get in after school and get your routine down as there's 2 points for the Vikings to cut the lead in half. It's number 12, Carter Sullivan. I think the Norskies have an advantage because they had school today. Am I crazy to think that?
I don't know. If it was a snow day or something, they were outside doing something, but they'd do a break, maybe just kind of relax and play some video games. I don't know. You'd think they'd be working on their getting their game faces ready. They wouldn't have to worry about an exam or running into the girlfriend down the hall or some things that happen in high school.
Bounce pass down low, but too far underneath the rim. Carter Sullivan did draw contact, and that'll lead to 2 free throws for the Vikings.
Now,
chance to tie the game.
If there was some kind of a party going on all day long and they were hanging out being on their feet. You've seen this happen in the spring with teams like at track meets where they've had a senior day. They've been out of the lake all day, and then that night they got to meet and their legs are gone. But I don't know if it's as big a factor here.
Sullivan just a 39% free throw shooter on the year, but he makes the first and the second to tie the game. 14 apiece at the midway point of the first half of this regional semifinal. 7 seed Deforest, 2 seed Stoughton. In the paint, shot too strong for Mason Keys, quarterback of the football team. And now the Vikings a chance to go back on top. Fernholz working one-on-one, now double-teamed. It's good ball movement and a good three. Mason Margie, the senior, first points of the night to give the Vikings a 3-point lead. Fernholz set that up, Dennis, by drawing the defense and then the quick pass across the court. Found the wide open man, Margie, in the corner.
You mentioned quarterbacks. Keys, a quarterback for Deforest, who was guarding Fernholz, the quarterback for Stoughton.
Morrison, no good from the left corner, would have tied it. Now instead, Stoughton, Shipper pulls up at the free throw line, no good. 8 minutes to play in the first half. The Stoughton defense has been, I think, their strongest part of their team game so far tonight. And now a whistle. Got a little contact out near the midcourt line, and it'll go against the Vikings.
Yeah, they're basically man-to-man. They're playing. They like the 1-3-1, but been playing some 2-3 zone out there. Again, trying to get Deforest to shoot from the outside.
7:47 to go in the first half. Deforest basketball down by 3. Winner of this game gets either Mount Horeb or Milton tomorrow night in the regional final. Teams will drop exponentially over the next 24 hours from the Madison area and around the state.
Offensive rebound there for Hodge.
Hardig wanted the 3 down here on the left side, but instead went across the court. Now he wants it again on the free throw line, extended left position. Unable to find him. Good ball movement for Deforest against this defense for Stoughton. Now they lose it. Johnson couldn't collect the steal, but he got some help and now has it. Shipper was there on the floor to pick it up. Now the feed down low. Ben Harmon to the corner. Johnson for 3. No. Harmon, the putback, is fouled, and he'll shoot 2 free throws with 6:56 to play in the half. Stoughton collecting the boards.
Offensive rebounding the key here in the first half. Stoughton not able to convert, and now they get a chance for a couple of points off of an offensive board here. But keep hammering away. Eventually it'll go in.
First free throw is good at the line. Harmon.
And that foul there was the second for Hardig.
Second free throw is good. Now Stoughton with one of its largest leads in the night. 19-14. Into the paint. On the run. Great pass and a great finish for the Norskies. James Hodge again. He's got 4 points now. Matching Hardig as the second leading scorers for the team in black tonight. 6.5 to play, first half. 19-16, Stoughton by 3. Backing his way down, rejected Harmon, but Stoughton again keeps it. That was Michael Turner, the senior, on the spot to collect it. Missed 3 for Hibner. That's his specialty. Couldn't knock down his first attempt tonight, though. And the Norskies have it. 6 minutes to go in the half.
First time these teams met, Hibner at 5 threes. Looking for his first one tonight.
Cross court for Van Oyen. Now he gets it back. Oh, the quick pass to Accardi on the baseline. Just couldn't get it fast enough. Extra pass to the corner. That's a great setup, and it rattles home. Sometimes you need a little help like that. Kobe Kleinert, the junior, knocks it in for the Norskies. And counted and one, Stoughton. 5:34 to go in the half and a chance to complete the 3-point play at the free throw line, Ben Harmon. Finally gets one to fall, and he's got a chance to get 3 out of it. A little bit of a late arriving crowd here at Stoughton High School tonight, Dennis, but as you can see on our video stream, they are filing in pretty well. Student section right in front of us, about 2/3 of the way full, but almost a packed house on the other end of the gym. Harmon does complete the three-point play, and that's the lead for the Vikings. 5.5 to go. I liked what Deforest did on the last offensive series, Dennis, trying to find the extra pass, going one step further. See if they try to go back to that again here. Stoughton showing them a little bit of a different defense.
And back to man here.
Top of the key, between the legs, Morrison. Now right side, it's stripped away. That's a good defensive play by the Vikings and Sawyer Shipper. Into the hands of Fernholtz, who walks it across midcourt.
Be a few floor burns to treat after this game tonight. Got Shipper's third time on the hard court.
Shipper trying to get three. Yes, he does. Sawyer Shipper, second made three of the night for the junior. 6-point lead for Stoughton and a timeout to Forest with 4:28 to go in the half. Both of these teams find a lot of their success from the three-point shot. Stoughton finding a little bit more of it here in the first half. PrepMania brought to you in part by Stoughton Health. They provide comprehensive and compassionate care to Stoughton's community and the entire Madison area, from their sports rehab facilities in Oregon and Stoughton to their renowned ortho team with Dr. Robel. Stoughton Health can help. Learn more at stoughtonhealth.com. Dennis, what's the message here for first-year coach Eric Stewart to his Deforest Norskies, trying to collect themselves after a bit of a run for the Vikings here at home?
Still got to get after it. That's 4 threes that Stoughton has got right now, so that was one of the keys, was to keep them off that line and make them try to take the ball inside a little bit more. And but you got somebody like Sawyer Shipper. He's just all over the place right now. He's on the floor, gets that loose ball, and then it pops right back up, and it just drains the three in your face. DeForest's got to do a better job blocking out on the offensive boards. They've given Stoughton way too many opportunities. The Vikings haven't used them a lot in the first half, but those things have a tendency eventually to start piling up. So better work on the board and get out on the three-point line. But then you got to give also Stoughton DeForest credit, on this end. They're really trying to work the ball around the perimeter too.
Let's see what the Norskies have out of the timeout. It's a steal for Stoughton. Margie was able to get in there and take it away. Open three, halfway down and out for Shipper. And now a bump coming this direction. .408 to go in the half. It's DeForest basketball. That foul goes on Harmon. And now another whistle goes against Stoughton right on the sideline here. A little bit of an obstructed view for us because of the student section in front of us, but that is a foul that's going to go against the Vikings.
Well, not so much in front of us, it's next to us on the railing. It's a place they like to hang out. I don't blame them.
Sawyer Shipper called for the foul there. The fourth team foul on Stoughton. Just like that, they had back-to-back. They only had two before that. Coming the other way.
Oh.
Three for Fernholtz. He's got 8 points now for the Vikings. 9-point lead and another steal. Fernholtz almost pulled up for another three. Instead, he passed it off and now gets it back. Swing it into the left corner. Driving baseline. Layup good. LaShawn Brown, first points of the night for the sophomore. 3.5 to play in this opening 18 minutes. And suddenly Stoughton has a double-digit lead at 30-19. Dennis, that was a sudden burst and big-time momentum going the way of the Vikings.
11-3 run here, just what the Vikings needed. Kind of take charge here. See if they maintain it going into halftime.
Norskies inbounding beneath their own basket. Give, get, and thinking about three. Morrison instead puts it on the deck and resets the offense. Now up top, here's Keys. Goes left. Norskies looking for a good shot here. They do not want to come away empty-handed. Keys pull-up three is good and much needed for the Norskies. Senior Mason Keys, also the quarterback of the football team, comes up with a clutch shot to cut the lead to 8. Now a loose ball. Deforest has it. 3-on-3 in the front court if they hurry. Into the paint, on the run. Morrison too strong. Rebound Stoughton. Coming the other way, it's Hibner. And a timeout called by the Vikings and Coach Nolan Weber with 2:31 to go in the half. Dennis, what do you make of quarterbacks who get a good chance to play basketball? Because we've seen that for both of these teams here tonight, and two teams that traditionally have multi-sport athletes that we call on multiple venues and multiple opportunities. When you see Mason Keys with the big three clutch moments ago, what are we thinking when we see quarterbacks out there?
They're used to making decisions, and they usually see the whole picture. As a quarterback, you have to know what everybody's doing, so they know what everybody's doing on the floor, know where to get guys in position, make sure on defense where they're supposed to be, and also just that leadership role. And right there, that's leadership by example. They need a basket. Keys drains the three, the big one for his first shot. So you like it. And you see on the other side, Fernholz, quarterback, same thing. Now, Shipper might be quarterback because of the way he's been diving and all over trying to take charge. So he's a running back, though. So
we talk about the final 3 or 4 minutes of the first half being a pivotal time, especially in postseason games. We'll see which team can capitalize here in the final 2:12. As out of the timeout, Stoughton misses and Deforest comes away with it. That's a good pass down to the left side, and Glenn laid it up, no good. And Glenn tried to sidestep for the rebound there, couldn't get it. And here come the Vikings.
Sullivan, nice board there. The Keys, 3-point shooting for Stoughton and offensive rebounding. They've been killing Deforest on both those.
Turnaround jumper for Fernholz, a little out of control, no good. Minute 36 to go in the half. Both teams have gotten a little cold here in the final stretches of this first period. Knocked out of bounds, and it'll stay with Deforest with exactly a minute 30 to go.
Good anticipation on Margie, read the passer's eyes and stepped in front there. Another football player, wide receiver.
You can tell there's a lot of football players out there tonight with the amount of overhand passes that we've seen already in this game.
The physicality and the fact that they read the floor so well, too.
Long three, no good for Alex Van Ooyen. Now another attempt is no good for Keys. And a held ball. Norskies will keep it with a minute 13 to go in the half.
That's Harmon, a linebacker. His older brother was an all-conference linebacker for Stoughton as well, and just would not give it up. That's time in the weight room right there. You know, the strength to hang on to the ball and create that a change in possession next time.
Keys pulls up, off balance, no good.
Another rebound for Harmon.
Closing in on 1 minute to play in the first half. Off the screen, Fernholz double teamed at the free throw line, resets. Now Margie gets Shipper, left side, pull up, good. Sawyer Shipper leading all scorers in this game tonight. All these numbers unofficial as our situation here is up on the mezzanine level, but that's 10 points I've got for Sawyer Shipper with 40 seconds to go in the half. If Dennis agrees, then I feel really good about it. You tend to be the numbers guy of the two of us. But we're both numbers guys compared to Alex Strofe, who will be back here with the call tomorrow night with you if Stoughton does in fact win. Empty trip for the Norskies, and Stoughton with a 10-point lead can hold for the final shot. 18 seconds and counting. Shipper. We'll see when they start to go. There he goes to Fernholz on the right side. Fernholz through a double team. 7 seconds. Shipper had it stolen away. 4 seconds. Can the Norskies get something? On the run, on the floater, no good before the buzzer sounds.
Glenn with a follow through just a shade late.
32-22 at the half. Stoughton by 10 after 18 minutes in this boys basketball regional semifinal. We'll get a check of the first half stats coming up here in a moment from the Dean, Dennis Semrau. Also see if we can get you some score updates from some games going on around the greater Madison area in this regional semifinal. That's coming up next at the break on Zimbrick Honda's presentation of PrepMania.
Hey, it's Eric from Canopy Wealth Management. At Canopy, care, competence, and clarity aren't just a tagline to us. It's our promise to you. We're a fiduciary, meaning that we operate solely in our clients' best interests. And because we're fee-based, those interests are aligned with our clients. Using our comprehensive approach, we help you achieve your goals when it comes to your wealth management. Go to canopy-wealth.com to get started with us today. That's canopy-wealth.com.
If you're looking to purchase, finance, or service a new or pre-owned Honda, buy local. Shop Zimbrick Honda. Their customer service is second to none, and you can experience it for yourself at 2 convenient Madison service locations on Fish Hatchery Road and Grand Canyon Drive. Oil changes, brakes, alignments, and warranties. Honda's certified technicians handle it all. And if you need new tires, buy 3 and get the 4th for just $1 when they mount and balance them for you. Zimbrick Honda's Service Center on Fish Hatchery Road and Grand Canyon Drive. Part of the Madison community since 1973.
Big just got even bigger. In our 60th year, Stoughton Trailers has built a lot of trailers, and our customers want more. Our growth means your opportunity. Immediate openings at a starting pay of $18 per hour at our Broadhead, Evansville, and Stoughton locations. Assemblers, forklift drivers, welders, and more. Big trailers, bigger opportunity. Go to stojobs.com. That's STOjobs.com. Disclaimer, our trailers remain the same size.
The local team at Nations Lending believes that everyone has a right to home ownership, especially our educators and school staff. Jesse Nelson here. Another reason I'm proud to have worked with Nations Lending for my home loan is that they're now offering a $500 appraisal credit to any school district employee in Wisconsin. $500 toward an appraisal for any school district employee in the state. Go to nationslendingmadison.com to get started today. Nations Lending, home loans made human. Corporate NMLS unique identifier 32416 to verify mortgage company or individual license. Visit NMLSconsumeraccess.org. Nations Lending is an equal housing lender.
Hey Wisconsin, it's Jonathan Taylor, pro running back and UW Credit Union member. Now that I'm always on the road, I need mobile banking that can keep up. That's why I use the UW Credit Union app. It lets me pay bills, send money to friends, and check my credit score. Whether I'm in Indianapolis or Ixonia, Jersey or Janesville, Miami or Milwaukee, get mobile banking that gets you with UW Credit Union. Join today at uwcu.org.
Federally insured by NCUA.
Jesse Nelson, Dennis Semrau, Zimbrick Honda's presentation of PrepMania on 100.5 ESPN and Wisconsin On Demand at the break of this boys basketball regional semifinal. It's the Stoughton Vikings, the number 2 seed, holding a 32-22 lead over the 7 seed Deforest Norskies. And before we update you on this game, Dennis Semrau's surfing Twitter. What are you finding?
Be glad we're not at these 2 games. At halftime, West Salem 56, Adams Friendship 10.
56-10. Okay, we've had some football games that
and the final
that
score,
way.
Wisconsin Lutheran defeated Milwaukee Arts 92-23.
Okay.
Ouch.
Well, we've got a tighter one than that. It's a 10-point lead at the break for the Stoughton Vikings. PrepMania brought to you by Zimbrick Honda. For nearly 50 years, Zimbrick Honda has provided the Madison area with quality Honda vehicles, and the trusted staff of Zimbrick Honda's used car dealership will save you time and reduce your car buying stress by finding the vehicle that matches your style. If you're looking for a new or used Honda, visit Zimbrick Honda today or head to ZimbrickHonda.com to search vehicle inventory. Dennis, let's get a check of the first half stats here for our game while we continue to take a look at what else is going on around the greater area.
Quick. Rob Reichel tweets, about 95% of the state will be live streaming their boys' regional games tonight. But not Middleton, the state's largest school, won't be live streaming their 23-1 number 2 ranked Cardinals. Sorry, but that's just not acceptable. Oops.
Well.
Yeah, I agree. Number 2 team in the state, you want to see them play, but hey, watch us. We're live, right?
We got Deforest and Stoughton. We're live. We're bringing it to you, and we thank all of you joining us on our video stream on Wisconsin On Demand. Now, Dennis, let's get a check of those stats.
And the big 1-2 punch for Stoughton. Sawyer Shipper, 10 points with 2 threes. And Ty Fernholz, 8 points with 2 threes. And Ryan out the scoring. Ben Harmon, great job off the bench. Rebounding.
Absolutely.
5 points. He's 3 for 3 at the line. 4 points for Carter Sullivan. 3 for Mason Margie, who's had some outstanding defensive plays in the first half. And 2 points for LaShawn Brown off the bench. So 7 points off the bench for Stoughton. And for Deforest, leading scorers, pretty balanced scoring here. Jackson Accardi has 6 points. 4 points each for James Hodge and Brody Hardig. We got 3 points each for Mason Keys and Colby Kleinert, each with the only 2 threes that Deforest has, and 2 points for Carter Morrison. Big difference here, 5 threes for Stoughton to 2 for Deforest. Stoughton is 5 for 5 from the free throw line, and Deforest 2 for 3. But offensive rebounding has been the key for Stoughton in the first half. A lot of second looks. They weren't able to convert on those, but just pounding the boards. As you saw, that they had an 11-3 run to open it up into double digits. That was kind of the key, though. I thought the threes and just keep pounding the ball inside. And just keep rebounding.
2 teams that love to win by shooting the 3 well. Stoughton with the advantage in that column. Stoughton with a 10-point advantage at the break. Zimbrick Honda's presentation of PrepMania brought to you in part by Stoughton Trailers. Big trailers and big opportunity at Stoughton Trailers. In their 60th year, Stoughton Trailers has built a lot of trailers, and their customers want more. Join a winning team. Immediate openings at new higher pay rates on both first and second shift at their Broadhead, Evansville, and Stoughton locations. Assemblers, forklift drivers, welders, and more. Go to stojobs.com, STOjobs.com. Stoughton Trailers, big trailers, big opportunities. Back in 2 minutes for the start of the second half of this boys basketball regional semifinal. The Stoughton Vikings with a 32-22 lead on the Deforest Norskies on Zimbrick Honda's presentation of PrepMania.
Big just got even bigger. In our 60th year, Stoughton Trailers has built a lot of trailers, and our customers want more. Our growth means your opportunity. Immediate openings at a starting pay of $18 per hour at our Broadhead, Evansville, and Stoughton locations. Assemblers, forklift drivers, welders, and more. Big trailers, bigger opportunity. Go to stojobs.com. That's STOjobs.com. Disclaimer, our trailers remain the same size.
If you're looking to purchase, finance, or service a new or pre-owned Honda, buy local. Shop Zimbrick Honda. Their customer service is second to none, and you can experience it for yourself at 2 convenient Madison service locations on Fish Hatchery Road and Grand Canyon Drive. Oil changes, brakes, alignments, and warranties. Honda's certified technicians handle it all. And if you need new tires, buy 3 and get the 4th for just $1 when they mount and balance them for you. Zimbrick Honda Service Center on Fish Hatchery Road and Grand Canyon Drive. Part of the Madison community since 1973. Shop Zimbrick Honda.
Hey, it's Eric from Canopy Wealth Management. At Canopy, care, competence, and clarity aren't just a tagline to us, it's our promise to you. We're a fiduciary, meaning that we operate solely in our clients' best interests. And because we're fee-based, those interests are aligned with our clients. Using our comprehensive approach, we help you achieve your goals when it comes to your wealth management. Go to canopy-wealth.com to get started with us today. That's canopy-wealth.com.
The local team at Nations Lending believes that everyone has a right to home ownership, especially our educators and school staff. Jesse Nelson here. Another reason I'm proud to have worked with Nations Lending for my home loan is that they're now offering a $500 appraisal credit to any school district employee in Wisconsin. $500 toward an appraisal for any school district employee in the state. Go to nationslendingmadison.com to get started today. Nations Lending, home loans made human. Corporate NMLS unique identifier 32416 to verify mortgage company or individual license. Visit NMLSconsumeraccess.org. Nations Lending is an equal housing license.
Stoughton Health provides comprehensive and compassionate care to Stoughton community and the entire Madison area. From our sports rehab facilities in Oregon and Stoughton to our renowned ortho team with Dr. Ravel, Stoughton Health can help. Learn more at stoughtonhealth.com.
Jesse Nelson, Dennis Semrau, Zimbrick Honda's presentation of PrepMania on ESPN Madison and Wisconsin On Demand. We welcome all of you joining us on our video stream on WisconsinOnDemand.com and on ESPN Madison's YouTube page. Jesse Nelson and the Dean Dennis Semrau, but we are not the stars. The stars tonight, the Stoughton Vikings, the 2 seed in this Division II boys basketball regional semifinal. And the Deforest Norskies, the 7 seed on the road. Stoughton, the 2 seed, with a 32-22 lead as we get set to start the second half.
One more update at the half. Madison Memorial 35, Brookfield Central 20.
The 10 seed Madison Memorial with a 35-20 lead over Brookfield Central. I'd say Coach Steve Collins is using that being an underseeded thing to a bit of a momentum builder, it would seem.
It's not a chip on the shoulder, it's an iceberg.
One other score update from around the area at the half, Mount Horeb with a 34-18 lead over Milton. The winner of Mount Horeb-Milton gets the winner of our game tonight. As it stands right now, it would be Mount Horeb at Stoughton at 7 o'clock tomorrow in a game you can watch right here on Wisconsin On Demand. Milton DeForest trying to upset that party, but out of the gates, here's Sawyer Shipper picking up where he left off, leading all scorers with a 3-point bucket for Stoughton's largest lead of the game at 13 points, 35-22.
Shipper averaging 13.3 a game, 13 now.
Second leading scorer for the Vikings on the year. Retaliation 3 is good for the Norskies. Alex Van Oyen, who did not have a point in the first half. He's the 3rd leading scorer on the year for DeForest. He adds a 3 to cut the lead back down to 10. Norskies changing up the defense, applying a little pressure as it's knocked out of bounds, last touched by Jackson Accardi. 1 minute into the second half, right where we left it at the break. 10-point lead for the Vikings. Stoughton does the inbounding. It's Margie into the corner for Fernholtz. Weaving his way in, bounce pass. Yeah, he took one too many steps.
Got caught up in the double team there. It looked like a nice pass inside for a potential layup, but walking the dogs.
And now here comes DeForest, Mason Keys. Again, he's the quarterback of the football team for a couple of years. He saw a little vision on the right side like a quarterback seeing an opening on the offensive line. And now this pass for Hardig is picked off by Stoughton. Fernholtz, pull up 3, short. Norskies have it. Bump at midcourt and a block is going to be called on Margie. He was trying to draw the contact as, I think that was Van Oyen, number 21, kind of had his head turned like he was looking beyond the defender. So I don't blame Margie for trying to draw that, but just didn't have his feet planted firmly. And now I'm not sure what just happened. Inbound came in, the officials pointing to something away from the ball. I don't know if the throw came in over and back or something. I'm sorry, I was deviating my attention momentarily, and you may have had a better look at it on Wisconsin On Demand, but nonetheless, it's Stoughton basketball. Left side, Shipper. Now bounce pass for Fernholtz. Oh, good pump fake by Johnson. Going baseline, ran out of real estate, though, as he was guarded by Hodge down low. It's a good move.
Force good pressure man-to-man right now, and Stoughton being patient. You got the lead, don't have to force anything.
Johnson for 3, no good. And the Norskies get it. Keys went up to get the rebound. 15:40 to go in the game. 10-point lead for Stoughton. Pull up Keys, correction, that was Brody Hardig, who's been relatively quiet since starting with a quick 4 points for DeForest. That's all he had at the break. Brody Hardig had 8 points in these 2 teams' first meeting. Sawyer Shipper connects on another 2.
Nice pull-up jumper just inside the free throw line.
And for Hardig, as a player who averages 16 points a game on the season, Dennis, in the first meeting to just have 8 points and to only have 4 here with 15 minutes to go, that's a significant defensive decision by the Stoughton Vikings, and they're succeeding.
Yeah, Stoughton shut him down and shut Accardi down.
Speaking of Accardi, he attempts the three, partially deflected on the way up, and it came up short.
In the first half, those two had only 10 points.
Johnson for Shipper off the screen for three, and he missed everything.
Oops. And there's the airball champ.
The Deforest fans, as you can see on the far end of the floor, they're the ones in the black standing.
Wide right.
Wide right, yes, indeed. They're hearing a good showing for the Norski fans that have made the trip down here.
He's throwing up a few of those. You know the shooter's mantra. Shoot to get hot, shoot to stay hot, shoot, shoot, shoot. And he will.
Hardig walks it across midcourt with 14:30 to go in the game. 37-25, Stoughton by 12 in this 2-7 matchup in the regional semifinal. Winner gets Mount Horeb or Milton tomorrow night. In a game you can watch right here on Wisconsin On Demand. And there was a lot of contact going on away from the ball in a couple of different places on that trip.
Shipper's a running back. Just to get hit, he's giving it up. I think he wants to play a little D-back next year. He just keeps bumping in there. He's not shy.
He was called for a second personal foul just now, though. 2 fouls on Stoughton in the half, nothing on DeForest. Hardig, no good. He's still cold.
They say Shipper's 6'2". I don't think he's 6'2". More like 6 foot, but he plays like he's 6'4".
Now again, Shipper for Hibner now. Jacob Hibner, the freshman, 3-point specialist for the
brother
Stoughton
went
Vikings.
to Monona Grove, and they just school choice Stoughton.
His brother Perry Hibner a few years ago was one of our UW Credit Union Student Athletes of the Week, as I would expect Ty Fernholtz might be next year as a senior. Fernholtz with another big three. He's got 11 points, and Stoughton's lead is 15. They continue to build. It's the largest of the night. Open three, top of the key is good for Van Oyen. He's got all 6 points for the Norskies in the second half.
That pair of threes. Threes are wild for Van Oyen.
13 minutes to play. Van Oyen with 6 in the half. Nobody else for DeForest has scored in the first 5 minutes out of the halftime break. Meanwhile, Fernholtz continues to heat up. He's got another bucket. 12:49 to go and a timeout called by DeForest to talk things over, down 14.
This one's getting away from him.
So how do you stop that, Dennis? Because we saw a big comeback here last night in the girls' sectional semifinal. At about this stage of the game, McFarland led by 18 over Monona Grove. Silver Eagles with a 3-point ball came storming back and took the lead before McFarland got out in front by about 3 or 4 points steadily for the final 3 minutes of the game. It was great. You can check it back on ESPN Madison's YouTube page. But what do you do right now to stop this momentum with the season on the line?
I think DeForest needs to push the pace a little bit to get Stoughton to play a little bit faster. Stoughton, with that lead now, they can be selective on their shots. They don't have to speed things up. But when a team's pushing you and you see a chance for some open layups, you might take some shots and things you don't necessarily want to take. And all of a sudden now the momentum swings if you can hit some shots on the other end. So it all starts on the defensive end. They need some stops, and then they need to really push the pace a little bit when they get the ball on offense.
While we're talking about that McFarland-Monona Grove game from a night ago, not only can you rewatch that one, but McFarland in action tomorrow in the sectional final against Union Grove. That's another game you'll be able to watch right here on Wisconsin On Demand. Also listen to the game on the radio on 100.5 ESPN. Out of the timeout, Norskies with an empty trip. Stoughton gets it back. Hoping to put a dagger on this regional semifinal right now, and that's going to help. LaShawn Brown, good from the left corner. Stoughton feeling good, up 17.
Another three.
12 minutes to go. The response just hits the bottom of the nylon for Keys, but Accardi there to clean it up. Back to a 15-point game with 11:39 and counting. Over pursuing on defense was Morrison. That gave Stoughton a quick chance to try and find an open player. How about Shipper for three again? Sawyer Shipper, the junior, is putting on a show from beyond the arc.
9 threes in the game here for Stoughton. Just running away with it now.
He's got 4 of them.
2 in each half. I like that balance. 18 points.
Three-pointer, Accardi, line drive, and he got it. And that's the one way Deforest could stay in this game, I feel, with 11 minutes to go. They've got to get hot from 3. They are not winning anything down low. Brown goes right. Shipper has had the hot hand. Fernholz. Quite the 1-2 punch for the Vikings.
You're right.
And this time, Shipper wants to go a step inside the three-point line. That's okay, too.
Everything he's throwing up is going in.
10.5 to play, 50-33. It's a 17-point lead again for the Vikings.
And Shipper matched his first half output, 10-10. First one to 20.
Got a bump called on Stoughton with 10:17 to go. I may have been wrong about the not having school today being a factor, Dennis. I think it's time for me to admit that. I thought Stoughton, without having school today, might come in a little slow, be out of their normal routine for a school day game night. Deforest was in school today. I thought they'd be in that rhythm.
Stoughton looks well rested.
Maybe sleeping in did play a factor, but the opposite of what I expected. They do look like they came ready and prepared for tonight's game. And they might be able pretty soon, if they can keep this lead, to start thinking about tomorrow.
Yeah, right now you got to start thinking about your legs tomorrow night. And they haven't gone too far deep in their bench, but now might be a time to, as we're getting the halfway part of the second half, start subbing here a little bit more. Use your timeouts.
We got a whistle that goes against the Vikings again. And that is the third foul on LaShawn Brown. .9:44 to go, 50-33. Norskies need some points. Driving right baseline, Hardig kicks it over to the corner. Three-point attempt is good. Van Ooyen again. Exactly what Deforest needed.
3 threes in the second half for him.
Approaching the midway point of the half. And starting to feel like desperation time for Deforest, trailing by 14. Foul committed near midcourt. Clock stops with 9:09 to go. Left side, here comes Sawyer Shipper, worked his way in between a couple of defenders and is able to cut out and start over. Now Shipper has it, kick it right, drive in Margie, bounced it off the foot of the defending Hardig. We've now crossed the midpoint of the half. 8:52 to go. A 14-point game. Winner to the regional final tomorrow night. If Stoughton continues to lead and win, they will host that game tomorrow. Fernholz for 3. It's such a smooth transition from when he gets the ball to when he fires it up. It just looks like a good basketball play, you know? Sometimes you can get some players that can make shots like that, but it doesn't always look clean. Fernholz makes it look good.
I would not want to play Fernholz or Shipper in a game of horse right now.
Speaking of Shipper, there he is with 2 more. 19-point lead for Stoughton. And a foul will send the Norskies to the line with 8:18 to play in the game. Hardig will get 2 free throws, and if he's able to hit one, it will be his first point of the half. Leading scorer on the year for Deforest, averaging 16 points a game. Shoots 47% from the field, 67% at the line. Norskies need every point they can get to keep the season alive. And Dennis, I do think it's interesting. You brought this up a few moments ago, the strategy for Coach Nolan Weber. Up by 18 here, approaching 8 minutes to go, make it 17 with the made free throw by Hardig. At what point do you consider pulling the starters with a back-to-back with playing in the regional final tomorrow night? Or just give the starters a breath for a minute or two?
You don't want to do too much, but again, you got to think about the legs back-to-back games.
And meanwhile, Deforest with everybody out there trying to hang on, down by 17 with less than 8 minutes now to go.
And if it is at Mount Horeb tomorrow night, it's going to be a battle of three-point shooting teams.
Margie wide open for 3, and he hits it. I don't have any clever three-point names to call the Stoughton Vikings. They're just good at shooting threes. And they're up by 20 with 7:30 to go in this regional semifinal. Driving right baseline, and a whistle goes against Stoughton, and that's the 6th team foul. So now bonus the rest of the way. That was the last foul to give for the Vikings, so that is one thing to keep a note of, and wonder how much Deforest will try and attack that philosophy to try and get some free points at the line. Margie called for the foul.
On the other point, only one foul right now for Deforest. They can be a little more aggressive on some steals and trying to take the ball away.
Hardig tried to lob it up for Riccardi. It was stolen away. Now Deforest gets it back. And driving in, Anthony Glenn, the junior, is bumped from behind. He'll shoot 2 free throws. Anthony Glenn, the best statistical free throw shooter for the Norskies on the season at 83%. He averages just 4 points a game off the bench, but he connects on free throw number 1. So he's the guy that Deforest might want at the line here if they can get him. .7:23 remaining, 58-39, make it 58-40 as Glenn hits the second free throw.
Approaching your magic number.
Magic number tonight, 62. 98% of the time. Team that scores 62 has a best chance to go on and win the game. Good defense for the Norskies, trying to force Stoughton out of rhythm.
That was a 1-on-4, and somehow Shipper got rid of it.
It's a great play by Shipper just to keep possession. Now they go left. Turner, Johnson off the screen. Ooh. Fernholtz, a whistle.
Offensive foul.
And I think it was a moving screen. But a lot of clock drained there by the Vikings on that offensive possession. 6:44 now to go in the game. 58-40. Stoughton in control. They led by 10 at the half. Brody Hardig uses the screen from McCarty. Now dribbles back. This has been a tough end to the season for the Norskies, who started 8-0. Lost 9 of their final 11 regular season games. Won on Tuesday night in the regional quarterfinal. 14-point win over Fort Atkinson to get to this game tonight in the regional semi. But for a team that was ranked in the AP poll, didn't lose for the first month of the year. Hardig banks home a 3. Maybe that's an offensive burst they're looking for. 15-point game, not over by any means. We've seen crazier things than a 15-point comeback in the final 6 minutes. There's no doubt about that. Pull up 3 for Hibner, comes up short, but Stoughton collects another offensive board. Surprise, surprise. They've been all over those tonight. Fernholz feed it down with a foul. Ben Harmon, chance for a three-point play. And the Vikings feeling good with 5:41 to go in the regional semifinal.
That's exactly what you need to do. Running clock, looking for a layup, and a potential three-point play, and they got it.
Ben Harmon back to the free throw line. Just the second team foul on Deforest in the half, and Harmon connects. 61-43 with 5:40 to go. Hardig going to let this roll, so the clock doesn't start until he picks it up across the midcourt line.
Harmon now with 8 points. Great job off the bench tonight.
And the Norskies know the clock is not in their favor. Hardig pump fake, good move, driving baseline. But again, they don't have the positioning in the paint. Just don't have the size advantage down there, and Stoughton comes away with it. Oh, loose ball bounced high into the air. Deforest has it on the run. No good for Glenn. Rebound, Vikings.
Turner with a couple of rebounds there. First one tried to bounce it off of Norski, and they end up getting the ball back, and then he gets another one. He's got ACLs on both knees. That's why he's got the big brace on his right knee. One from football and one from AAU basketball. Equal opportunity ACLs. The football one was the second game of the season, so it's amazing he's even playing at the, you're looking back August till February, now March. He came back a couple of weeks ago and given him about 7-8 minutes off the floor.
Schipper had it knocked away, but a foul is called on Anthony Glenn as both of them dove for it beyond the midcourt line.
Frustration will start setting in here for Deforest now. Time ticking away, and Stoughton's playing keep away.
4:34 on the game clock as it stops.
Glenn with a foul.
And again, a lot of the starters still out there for Stoughton. You've got Johnson, Margie.
Fernholz
is out there. Schipper, I think, is still out there in the backcourt. Yep, there he is. So with 4:34 to go, they have not decided to give anybody any rest yet.
Yeah, Harmon's been in there, but he's been alternating pretty much with Sullivan. Turner just came back. It was out. He just came off the floor.
If Stoughton wins, they will host the winner of Mount Horeb and Milton tomorrow night in the regional final right here on Wisconsin On Demand. Our exclusive free live video stream. We welcome those of you joining us for our broadcast this evening. You can also watch our free live video stream of the girls sectional final tomorrow afternoon, McFarland and Union Grove. Coverage starts at 12:30 from DeForest Area High School. I'll be over there. Dennis will be back here with Alex Strofe tomorrow night.
I'll be over there to join you, though, too.
Yeah, he'll pop over to DeForest.
Say hi.
Stop in. Special cameo appearance from the dean. We'll appreciate that.
With my scorebook. I don't go anywhere without my scorebook.
Well, certainly you go to, get a sub without your scorebook, I would imagine. What do you take it in there? You're, adding up the ham and the turkey?
5 ounces of this, 4 of it.
I could see you doing it. That's the nobody liked the dean.
I'm not that bad. Trust me. Yeah, it goes back to my grade school, high school days. I always loved to score things. Keeping track of yards for the Packers growing up and the Bucks.
Always the mathematician. Nice move by Harmon.
Double figures.
Speaking of math, there's 10 points now for Ben Harmon. And a 20-point lead for Stoughton. That possession took almost 2 minutes off the game clock.
I can suffice to say there's a basket there, but they're putting this one away now.
Hodge lays it in, 63-45 with 3.5 to play. Stoughton in control. Vikings lost the Badger Conference Championship game last Friday. It was actually scheduled for Thursday, but because of the snow day that all the schools in the area experienced, they ended up playing Wanakee on Friday late in the day. Warriors won that game.
Third time's the charm. We were supposed to see Stoughton play twice, and they got snowed out.
Well, and I mentioned near the end of the season, as there's a timeout with 3:11 to go, Stoughton finished 3-3 down the stretch. None of those losses were against teams that were necessarily outside of Wanakee in their conference. They had one non-conference game that they lost, but the other two just came directly against the Wanakee Warriors. So, as long as Stoughton can avoid Wanakee, which they will do in the playoffs, maybe the Vikings feeling pretty good. And if they shoot it like they are tonight, they could beat anybody.
Yeah, they can. Good ball movement, great offensive rebounding. On the other side, they took away the two leading scorers. You look at what Accardi's got. He had 6 at half. He's got 11. And Hardick at 4 at half. He's got 9. So you held the other team's scores to 20 points or less. That's a win.
This is a bit of a revenge game for many of the Stoughton players that were part of last year's squad, even if some of the players were on the JV level. I'm sure they were here cheering on their varsity teammates a year ago in the regional final. Deforest won it last year 63-53 as the Norskies went on and then lost the next game in the sectional semifinal against the Oregon Panthers. Out of the timeout, Johnson deflected on the left block, but he gets it back. And the Vikings will play keep away for at least a few more moments. Under 3 minutes to go. Stoughton looks to be moving on to the regional final. Just the formality of the clock running out at this point.
Good delay, just motion offense.
Oh, and a kick goes into the stands. That was a dangerous one. Hope everybody's okay over there.
Paying attention.
Somebody got a hand up. Looks like everybody's having a good laugh about it, so that's good.
Yeah, one of the assistant coaches right there. Oh, don't want to have the laces imprinted on your forehead. And a foul.
Clock stops with 2:38 to go. Hey, want to give a shout out to our buddy Dan Kelly from American Family Insurance.
Yeah,
Dan stopped by before the broadcast. He's cheering on the Norskies on the far end. Dan makes his regular appearances on Wilde and Tausch around the start of Packers training camp each year up at the Dream Drive at Lambeau Field. Looking to have him on again around the start of the Brewers season, of course, at American Family Field, the home of the Milwaukee Brewers. So thanks to Dan Kelly for stopping by from American Family Insurance. Always great to catch up with him. 2:34 to go, and Stoughton to the line. No more fouls to give for the Norskies. Harmon will shoot a 1-1.
Yeah, Harmon now with 11. And 12. Perfection from the line for him tonight. 6 of 6.
Back to a 20-point lead for the Stoughton Vikings with 2 minutes and 25 seconds to go. Accardi with a modest slam. And that's a sign of more to come for Jackson Accardi. Just a sophomore, Dennis. We said it when we saw the Norskies against Monroe earlier in the season. Jackson Accardi is going to be a force to be reckoned with in the Badger Conference for the next couple of years.
Yeah, this will be his team next year.
Second leading scorer this season behind the senior Hardig, who has it in the front court with the left hand, and Hardig gets 2 more points. 2 minutes to go, 65-49.
Accardi also a tight end in football. We'll see him next fall.
See if the Norskies can return to some of that glory on the football field next year as well. Been a really successful run for the Deforest Norskies over the last few seasons, football and boys basketball. Last year reaching the sectional semifinal. The year before they reached the state semifinals. That was the COVID year where they were in Oshkosh.
D1 that year.
Lost to Kimberly, who was an incredible team, finished as the state runners-up. Of course, the football team won a state title just a couple of years ago. Competing at the top of the Badger Conference consistently now with Wanakee. 3-point shot, no good. And a loose ball foul goes against Deforest with 1:32 to go. And this gets to be the point where some of the starters make check out of the game here for Stoughton. You've still got a lot of them out there. Johnson, Fernholtz, Margie, Schipper, and Harmon. Student section chanting they want to see one of their friends from the bench hop on in. One of the fun things about high school basketball, especially at this stage of the season. 65-49, first shot is good from the line for Ty Fernholtz. Great night for Fernholtz. Fernholtz and Schipper, and joined by Harmon in the second half. Some good point totals. Dennis will get those once our broadcast wraps up.
39 combined, 22 and 17 for Schipper and Fernholtz respectively.
Pull-up three, top of the key is good for Mason Keys. And if that's one of the last shots that the senior gets to take, he'll go out with a made three. 66-52. Approaching 1 minute to go. Kind of a half-hearted tapping fouling attempt here by the Norskies. And now they do commit the foul with 1:05 to play. So it appears that Deforest season is about to come to an end. They'll be overall 13-12 when it's all said and done. Stoughton will improve to 18-7. And a chance to make it 19, hosting the regional final tomorrow night. Jay Johnson, 2 of 2 at the line. First points of the night for the sophomore Johnson. He's been a force out there, just not in the point column. So nice to see him get a couple of points. Hardig pulls up for three, no. 1 minute to go. Accardi commits the foul. And that will send Fernholtz back to the free throw line with 56 seconds to play.
And you should be clearing the bench about now.
Mount Horeb in control, by the way, against Milton with 2 minutes left, 60-43 in the 3-6 matchup. So it does appear that we're going to have Mount Horeb and Stoughton tomorrow night here at Stoughton High School in the regional final. You can watch it right here on Wisconsin On Demand. Accardi checks out. We got a whole line change for the Stoughton Vikings. Mason Keys, the senior, checks out to a good ovation from the Norski fans. You always love to see one at a time. The seniors now checking out and getting their due ovations from their respective fans.
Seniors, one more home game.
Fernholtz makes them both and checks out. So we'll see if we get a chance to call a couple of DeForest Norski players that we wouldn't usually otherwise. Caleb O'Connor, number 4 in the Road Blacks, is a senior into the game for DeForest. Hardig takes a three, no good. Rebounded by Stoughton, now taken away by DeForest, and Van Oyen, a senior, lays it up and good. A great second half performance by Van Oyen, just not quite enough for DeForest tonight. 38 seconds and a foul committed. First free throw good for Johnson.
Yeah, DeForest piled up the fouls here at the end. And doesn't help, though, when Stone goes to the line and drains them. That's 6 in a row, 7 of their last 8.
30 seconds. We'll see who gets in on the action here for the Norskies. On the baseline, O'Connor stepped out of bounds. Wanted to get those 2 points, and he might still get one more chance at it here. 28 seconds on the clock. Looks like the Norskies are calling it off, though. Johnson across midcourt. They'll play catch with 22 seconds to go. Here's number 10, Malachi Sutton. Number 11, Braylon Kane. Shot no good, 11 seconds. Hardig out in front. One more bucket for Brody Hardig. And he's actually fouled with 6 seconds left. He wanted to try and get up and slam it, couldn't quite get there. And Hardig taking a second to get up. So it's actually an and one opportunity for Brody Hardig. He made the shot to make it 72-56. Now he'll shoot a free throw for good measure. Illustrious career for Brody Hardig coming to a close. with the Norskies. Stoughton and Mount Horeb tomorrow night in the regional final. Hardig makes the free throw. And our final score will be 72-57. The Stoughton Vikings advance to the regional final. They get their revenge after falling a year ago in the regional final to the Deforest Norskies. 2022 belonged to Deforest. 2023, it goes to Stoughton. Vikings and Vikings tomorrow night for the regional championship. And you can watch it right here on Wisconsin On Demand. Alex Strofe and Dennis Semrau will have the call tomorrow night. I'll be on the call tomorrow afternoon of the girls' sectional final, along with our friend Bill Kegler from Madison College. McFarland and Union Grove. Pre-game coverage starts at 12:30, tip at 1 o'clock, right here on Wisconsin On Demand, our free live video stream, also on 100.5 ESPN, on the radio and on the app. Dennis Semrau will get a check momentarily of the final haul, brought to you by Stoughton Trailers here on Zimbrick Honda's PrepMania. Big trailers and big opportunity at Stoughton Trailers. In their 60th year, Stoughton Trailers has built a lot of trailers, and their customers want more. Join a winning team. Immediate openings at new higher pay rates on both first and second shift at their Broadhead, Evansville, and Stoughton locations. Assemblers, forklift drivers, welders, and more. Go to stojobs.com. That's STOjobs.com. Stoughton Trailers. Big trailers. Big opportunity. Dennis, you all added up in the box score there for our final haul presented by Stoughton Trailers, or I need a minute for you?
Just about here.
All right. Well, in the meantime, I will tell you that Mount Horeb has, in fact, won over Milton, and so it will be officially Mount Horeb and Milton tomorrow night in the regional, Mount Horeb and Stoughton tomorrow night in the regional final here at Stoughton High School. A 3-2 matchup on this side of the Division II Sectional 3 bracket. Mount Horeb at Stoughton, 7 o'clock tip tomorrow night. Pre-game starts about 6:40, again right here on the free live video stream on Wisconsin On Demand. Alex Strofe and Dennis Semrau will have the call for you tomorrow night. Special thanks to our video producer Ryan Wollersheim on site tonight with us here at Stoughton High School. Ryan, you might as well pay rent out here 3 nights in a row with games out at Stoughton High School. Dennis, let's get that final haul presented by Stoughton Trailers.
All right, for Stoughton, leading scorer and in the game, Sawyer Shipper with 22. He had 4 threes. 19 points for Ty Fernholz, also with 4 three-pointers. 12 points for Ben Harmon off the bench. Outstanding performance by the 6'6 junior. And we had 6 points for Mason Margie, 5 for LaShawn Brown, also off the bench, and 4 for Jay Johnson, and 4 for Carter Sullivan. Impressive, 11 threes, 15 of 16 at the free throw line. Great night. And for DeForest, 3 players in double figures, led by Brody Hardig. Ends his career with 14 points. Had one three tonight. 13 points for Jackson Accardi. We'll be hearing a lot more from him over the next 2 years. 6'7" sophomore. He also had a 3. And 11 points for Alex Van Ooyen. Led the Norskies with 3 three-pointers, 11 points. 6 points each for Mason Keys and James Hodge. And we had 3 points for Colby Kleinert on a 3, 2 for Carter Morrison, and 2 for Anthony Glenn for 57. They were 7 of 8 from the line, 22 of 24. It's the best high school free throw shooting I think I've seen all year.
Really good tonight for the Stoughton Vikings.
But number 2 seed beats number 7.
And it will be the number 2 and the number 3 tomorrow night. Stoughton and Mount Horeb from Stoughton High School. Coverage starts at 6:40 on our free live video stream on Wisconsin On Demand. Norskies season comes to an end, 13-12 overall. Stoughton improves to 18-7, and they'll look for win number 19 to advance to the sectionals with a win in the regional championship tomorrow night. Special thanks again to Ryan Wollersheim, to Chuck Stanger, and to the Dean, Dennis Semrau. My name's Jesse Nelson. For nearly 50 years, Zimbrick Honda has provided the Madison area with quality Honda vehicles. The trusted staff of Zimbrick Honda's used car dealership will save you time and reduce your car buying stress by finding the vehicle that matches your style. If you're looking for a new or used Honda, visit Zimbrick Honda in Madison today or head to ZimbrickHonda.com to search vehicle inventory. Once again, your final score, 72-57. The Stoughton Vikings defeat the Deforest Norskies in this boys basketball regional semifinal. For those of you that will join tomorrow night for Stoughton and Mount Horeb, Dennis Semrau and Alex Strofe will see you then. Until then, this has been Zimbrick Honda's presentation of PrepMania on ESPN Madison and Wisconsin On Demand.